everyone, and welcome to ONYX Pages. It's been a few weeks since I have recorded a video. It's been quite busy, what with Halloween and all the things. I actually ended up borrowing my cousin's costume and wore the Scream mask and a cloak, and just I'm gonna leave the decisions until another year. In fact, I'm hoping that after the Black Panther movie comes out, that there's going to be a Dora Milaje costume, because that's what I really want to dress up as. If I'm going to spend money on a costume, I would definitely wear a costume depicting one of the warriors of Wakanda, because that is so beautiful. Anyway, this video is going to be my October wrap-up. I'm looking at my pile of books over to my left. I read two books in October. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, but really my longer reviews are going to be their own review videos when I actually get to them. So let's just get started. The first book that I read in October, or one of the books that I read in October, and my favorite book, was Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. This was a buddy read with Pretty Brown Eye Reader, and the whole buddy read discussion was fantastic. And there's a separate video that I'm going to link in the description box below. And that video not only has our conversation about the book, but it also has my 7 calorie shell review. I'll just say overall that I really enjoy Nnedi Okorafor's writing, and I'm going to be reading a few more of her books in November. Yeah, it was a really beautiful read for a novella, and I don't even know why I gave that qualifier. It was just a wonderful read, and I can't wait to read more of her work. So that was Binti by Nnedi Okorafor. The next book that I read in October was The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin, and N.K. Jemisin is a brilliant writer. She is certainly one of my top 3 right now. That would be Nalo Hopkinson, Octavia Butler, and now N.K. Jemisin. I have followed N.K. Jemisin through some of her writing. So the first trilogy of hers that I've read is the Inheritance trilogy, and that was really amazing. I've now finished the Broken Earth trilogy, which consists of the 5th season, The Obelisk Gate, and now The Stone Sky. And my book club, the SOULar Powered Afrofuturism reading group, we read this and we discussed this at the end of October, and it was a wonderful discussion. So I will be posting a video when I get to it with a review of the book, but I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be a 7 calorie read, which would be the first for ONYX Pages. I haven't rated it yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, this was just an amazing read, and I will tell you more about it in another video. So that was another book that I read in November. Okay, so this is 3 Parts Dead by Max Gladstone. I'm actually still working my way through this, so it's going to be on my TBR, or I might even not finish this. I'll say for now that I'm disappointed right now in the read. I'm really having a hard time moving through the story. It's really dense. I like it, but there's just nothing that is encouraging me to get to the end of it. I feel like I'm not clear what the main conflict is, even though the main conflict is really clear. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of emotion. I don't feel connected to the character. I have to say this was a bit of cover bait for me, because I saw the black woman on the cover and she looked like somebody at a grown-up Hogwarts, and she's got these amazing glyphs on her arm and this magical sword, and I thought this is going to be amazing, because what's more amazing than a black woman in a suit working at some magical law firm with a sword that comes out of her wrist? Like, why wouldn't that be amazing? And with all those amazing ingredients, I thought this story would be a really quick read, but I am having a really hard time going through this. And I have some thoughts about diversity and fantasy, and I will get into them when I talk about this book, either in a book review or in a DNF post. But you have to do more than have a person of color or a black person on the cover. There has to be something in the story that is meaningful, that's challenging, that makes this more than a choice of skin color. And so far, I haven't seen that, and I'm on page 172 of 333, and my heart isn't in it yet. So Gladstone, I hope you got something for me in the last 100 or so pages, and we'll see. But anyway, that's 3 parts dead. It's actually 3 parts dead right now. It needs to get some life. And then this is Lightspeed, People of Color Destroy Science Fiction. It's a special edition, a special issue of the Lightspeed magazine, but it's the only Lightspeed magazine that I own right now. And this is a fantastic, fantastic anthology of short stories. Every single story that I read challenged me, inspired me, pushed me to think about humanity in different ways and from different perspectives. So, for example, the first short story tells the tale of an android with post-traumatic stress disorder coming back from battling in the war, and what it means for humans to foster these androids in order to prepare them to do their job as androids in peace times. And there are just so many questions here about violence, about state violence, about ableism, about mental health and trauma and sexual orientation. There's just so much here that in that first story that was so interesting. And every single story that I read after the first challenged me even more and got me thinking about myself in the world, my social location, power and privilege even more. So I'm really moving through this anthology slowly. So what I'm probably going to do is put together a video on the first part. So this edition was edited by a number of different editors, but of course Nalo Hopkinson, she edited the first part of this anthology, which is original short fiction. She co-edited it with Christine Ong Muslim, and there are about 10 stories in part 1, and I am 9 stories into part 1. So I think what I'll do is post a video once I've read through each part, and because I really want to spend some time honoring the authors of these short works. It's not easy to write a short story, and sometimes short stories can get lost in the larger umbrella of the anthology, and I don't want to do that. I want to honor each of the storytellers who spent time putting their heart and soul into what is now the Lightspeed People of Color Destroy Science Fiction Special Edition. So that I read in October, and I'm probably going to continue that. So those are the 4 books that I read in October. I will add links in the description box below to my Goodreads ratings and to each of these titles if you're interested in reading them yourself. If you are reading any of these books or you have read any of these books, I would love to hear your comments on each of them and what you thought, what you liked, what you didn't like. And in particular, I need some help with this Max Gladstone 3 Parts Dead, because it's a struggle getting through this. If you've read any of his work, or if you've read 3 Parts Dead and you liked it or didn't like it, I would love to hear from you, because I need some support to finish this book. I really don't want to not finish it, so help me out. Anyway, thanks very much for watching ONYX Pages, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!